Great. So that was the shameless plug, albeit not too specific for M&G. So I work at M&G Investments. I'm here with a number of my colleagues, and we are sponsoring with another number of other groups today's conference. And so we're really, really proud to be able to sponsor an event that brings us as investors together with our customers and clients in a direct way that is quite rare and we think is much undervalued as a route to have a dialogue with our customers. So we're really happy to be here today and we're really happy to be able to talk to you. We'll be around all day, both myself and many of my colleagues, so we'd love to sort of discuss any relevant sustainable, responsible or impact investing issues with you throughout the day. So please come and grab us at our spot over in the corner over there. So today we're, as I said, really proud to represent the investment community among our clients. This is a topic of such great importance, we think, in helping to address many of the challenges that the world faces, whether they're social or environmental, whether they're the climate crisis, whether they're pollution and waste, or whether they're social inequalities. There are a vast range of issues that we as investors need to think about in our funds and our portfolios and represent on behalf of our customers and clients. So we're really proud to be here, and we're also kind of very happy to be joined by a number of other sponsors sponsoring today's event. And I'd quickly like to thank Lisa, who's done a fantastic job in organising this event alongside her team. So, I mean, it's something that we believe is crucial, and I'm going to give 5 or 10 minutes just giving a quick outline of about how we think about sustainability and sustainable investing at M&G and how we can represent our customers and clients in how we invest. So, really it's about dealing with the big challenges the world faces. This is something that if you went back 10, 15, 20 years, I don't think the financial services industry and investment management industry really had front and center of how it invested. It was all about identifying businesses that could generate that profit over long term. It was a financials first approach. And over the last 10, 15 years or so, I think the idea that we need to act and invest responsibly and to drive potential sustainable outcomes can be aligned with that sort of investment financial imperative. That idea has grown and taken hold, and I do think now we're at a moment where the recognition of the opportunity to address some of the big challenges the world faces, whether it is climate change, whether it is pollution, whether it is, as massively highlighted by the recent COVID and ongoing pandemic, the importance of designing and developing and delivering better health outcomes to populations around the world, but also thinking about how we can bring people into the global economy, how we can provide access to information, access to financial services to people who otherwise wouldn't have access to those things. So I think capital investment can have a really important role to play in solving these challenges. But I think it's crucial, first of all, to really be clear about the types of investment or sustainable investment strategy that we as investors can offer to our customers. And we've set them out here on this chart in a slightly simplistic way, but I think it's a useful framing for today's discussions that hopefully will help you have that dialogue with the people who manage finances for you, and also have interesting discussions in various different meetings and forums throughout today's conference. But really I would simplify it by saying it's about sort of 2 or 3 different areas. One is how to align your investments with your values, and that's very much about, I would say, excluding or removing sin sectors or companies that are involved in significant scandals from your portfolio. That's a sort of exclusion approach represented by the sort of left bottom sort of 3 pillars around exclusions, norms-based, values-based exclusions, and ESG screens. So screening out those companies that are failing on their societal responsibilities. Now that does something. It removes those companies from your portfolio, but we think it's sort of only sort of touching on the edge of what investment, sustainable and responsible investment can achieve. And so the next stage up the chart is the ESG integration and ESG engagement. And that is really about how do you incorporate environmental social governance risks and considerations into your investment thinking. And we think that's very much about driving better financial investment outcomes because you're managing your risks as an investor more effectively. You're taking in all the information that you think is out there that is relevant to your company or relevant to your portfolio, and you're embedding that into your investment thinking alongside financial issues. Now that has a massively important role to play, and it's something that the whole of the industry, I think, is embracing. But where we also see real interest and opportunity, and I think where many of our investment clients, really investing clients, think are really excited about, is the idea of investing to drive positive sustainability outcomes and investing for positive impact. And that's that section up the top where it's really doing all the previous aforementioned activities around better analysis, removing companies from your portfolio that are really problematic. But it's actually also about investing in businesses that can drive change and create solutions for the challenges the world faces. So today you'll hear about different types of these strategies, but I think it's important to have in your mind that there are, we would say, three broad areas that investors can, or three broad strategies that investors can employ. Now across the piece, it's really exciting for us to see that sustainable and impact investing is growing in scale from pretty small starting points right through to where we are now. And this is just looking at the impact investing market, where from 2019 through 2020 and now the latest analysis by the Global Impact Investing Network in the recent weeks has flagged that the impact investing market is now over $1 trillion. Now, that sounds like a big number, and it's encouraging to see that progress, but that's still a tiny fraction of the overall professionally managed assets under management in the market globally, which account to roughly, $130, 140, 150 trillion dollars in assets. So 1 trillion is an important progress, but it's tiny compared to the overall market. The overall responsible investing market, distinct from impact investing, is more like sort of 50, 60, 70 trillion. So a lot more in that area, but still a very small amount of the market invested directly, intentionally to drive positive change to those big challenges the world faces. So look, we think the opportunity to address those challenges is really, the responsibility, to address those challenges is huge. It's growing in scale and capacity across our markets. But importantly, it represents huge investment opportunities. And we think, impact and sustainable investing can't just be about trying to do good. It has to be about delivering superior long-term returns to our customers and clients as well. So just flagged here, there is, by some accounts, a multi-trillion, in this case $12 trillion investment opportunity from investing in those solutions that the world needs, whether it's in electric vehicles and sustainable transportation, whether it's in driving a more renewable energy and sustainable energy system, but whether it's also addressing things like good, affordable healthcare, better and more nutritious food for the world's population, greater focus on social inclusion and access to things like information and financial services. So the investment opportunity is enormous. That is, for us, a really important factor in thinking about our sustainable investing responsibilities and opportunities, and something we really focus. You can't have one without the other. You have to have those two factors together to deliver the right outcomes for society and for our clients. I'd quickly going to flag a piece of work that M&G conducted in the last few months, which a couple of my colleagues, Sarah and Lucia, in the audience have done a huge amount of work on, but a lot of people at M&G pulled together on as well. And that's a report we put out every year, which is on our website, called the SDG Reckoning Report. What it does is, and we've been running it for the last 3 years, is looks at those 17 sustainable development goals, which the whole world has effectively agreed on, and identifies and does a sort of sense check, a progress check on where we are progressing towards those goals with the right level of ambition and action and pace, And those where we are clearly behind the progress needed to deliver on those Sustainable Development Goals, those SDGs, by 2030. Now, the sad story to say is that we're way behind in general progress on delivering on the SDGs. We've set them out. You can't really see it too clearly, but we've set them out on the left here, the progress towards all the goals. But maybe focusing in on a couple of the goals on the right. And that really is a couple of areas where we are seeing decent progress, but a couple where we are way behind the progress needed. SDG 3, just to pick one, that's the global goal focused on better health and well-being, good health and well-being. And that's one where all the positive energy that was evident around during the COVID period in finding a vaccine and delivering it to the world's population, albeit not with the level of equality I think that we needed to see, but it was an amazing kind of energizing effect and a phenomenal outcome that we delivered that vaccine program with the speed that it was delivered with. But that's a goal where we think, although there's huge challenges ahead, it's a goal towards which we're really moving with improving pace. Still lots to do there. And maybe the one to flag that is behind the progress needed is SDG 7, which is about affordable and clean energy. You know, one of the big topics of today is climate and the challenge we face and the crisis we face around delivering a sustainable and inhabitable climate in the years and decades to come. We're at a moment of real crisis right now where not just because of the current sort of energy and conflict crisis in the world, but before that as well, we're really not accelerating our progress towards renewable energy with the pace we need to. It's a time of great opportunity, we think, to invest and redouble our efforts to invest in affordable and clean energy, but we're really not, and really punctuated by the current kind of conflict and the energy costs and the cost of living crisis that's followed through from that. We're really not delivering on that with the energy we need. So these are sort of two of the snippets from that SDG Reckoning report. It's on our website. Hopefully it's a good overview of some of the areas that investors need to focus on and some of the areas that we're focusing on at M&G. Please go ahead and have a read of it. We'd love to get your feedback and your thoughts on it over time. So with that, I think I'm just going to say, hopefully there's a really exciting agenda ahead of us today. There are loads of interesting sessions. Straight after us, we've got an introduction to sustainable investing from the great Julia Dreblow. That should be a fascinating overview of the issues, but right throughout the day we've got some fantastic sessions, fireside chats, panel discussions, keynote speeches that hopefully will help you understand more and more about this really fascinating area that we all feel very passionate about, but we'd love to discuss any of the issues with you as the day goes through. So with that, thank you very much for, by the way, of course, crucial to say thank you all for being here. We really appreciate your support and your interest in these topics. But thank you for your time and listening today. Welcome to this session and the conference. And with that, I'm going to pause and say, maybe if there might be any questions, feel free to ask them now. Otherwise, I will pass over to Julia for the next session. So any questions? Any burning issues that you want to quickly raise? Otherwise, if not, cool. Well, Julia, should we sort of pass over to you? And thank you very much for your time.